Hi, everybody. Jill's back again to talk to you more about our upcoming conference with Illuminating Women called Ignite Your Radiance. And I, once again, have another one of our speakers here that I will bring on in just a minute for you to meet and get to know and hear the value and the juicy, juicy information she's going to be presenting at the conference that's going to really ignite you and is going to help you reach your goals, that is going to light you up. Because I hear so often women telling me, you know, I feel a little stuck and I feel guilty for saying I feel stuck and I'm trying to be, you know, I'm trying to get this right and that right. And I just things aren't lining up. This is why I do this conference. This is why I have amazing women lining up in the belief, in the mission that we're here to help illuminate the lives of women personally and professionally. So our conference, Ignite Your Radiance, is coming up real soon, March 2nd in Woodinville. It's going to be a wonderful day. We have a marketplace. We have a beautiful lunch to serve you from farm to table. We're going to start out the day getting with Dr. Brenda Butterfield about your mindfulness. Then we're going to have a panel on aging magnificently, where we have our own state Supreme Court Justice Judge Mary Yu to share some of her tidbits. Lunch break, and then the lady that I'm going to introduce you to is going to be the one that's going to come right out of lunch. She has this fantastic book I read when I came back from Costa Rica, and I could not put it down. And she talks a lot about your messy brilliance and about being that imperfect woman. And what this portion of the conference is about, getting clear, because sometimes we're not so clear about what it is we want to be doing. And sometimes it's just little nuggets that we need. Then we're going to follow that up by our speaker I'm bringing all the way from Nashville, our Nashville, Tennessee. She has broken barriers and she's going to teach you about getting unstuck. She's broken a lot of herself. So she's an exciting woman, and she's one of the videos I've seen. And then we ended with the beautiful Debrina Jackson, who's going to teach us about being a juicy woman. So you can go to illuminatingwomen.com, look into the events tab, and you'll see the conference that are going to start right up. But I am really thrilled now to introduce to you this woman. You know, I really believe that sometimes when we're doing what we're supposed to be doing in this world, that you know, the heavens open up, the doors open up, everything opens up. And this woman came across my path through a mutual friend, and then I met her again, and she handed me her book, which I'm going to get a little more about that. And I couldn't put it down, and I just said, oh, can you do this for us today? Because I know you have something that many women are hungry for and searching. So without further ado, I am going to introduce you to our one of our speakers for the conference, Kelly McNelis. So Kelly, welcome, and tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you. First of all, I'm so excited to be part of a conference called Ignite, with the theme Ignite Your Radiance, because my book, Your Messy Brilliance, I mean, the word brilliance and radiance, doesn't it feel very aligned? I mean, it's so perfect and synchronistic what we're doing together. So thank you for having me, and I'm excited to talk to everyone.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about you. Like, you know, where are you from? How did you get into this? And how did you end up writing this amazing book that, again, I just like pinned? You should see how many pages I've turned.
Good. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to turn those pages, right? You're supposed to turn them down. I have a dear friend that won't do that. So, you know, Jill, first and foremost, I'm a mom. I have 3 children, and then I have 3 bonus children in a blended family. So we are the modern day Brady Bunch is what we call ourselves. And my husband required that I say that at our wedding when we blended the family. So that's first and foremost. So life definitely has been brilliant and messy for me as a mom of 6 children, ages within 6 years of each other's age in a blended family. And I grew up on the East Coast, and I have a background in nonprofit. And so I rolled out nonprofit youth education organizations for startups for about 20 years in my former life before I started Women for One. And I think it was about 9 years ago almost now, I had blended the family, and I had gone through a really tough divorce, and I was a single mom for 5 years, and then blended a family of these 6, like I talked about. And I stopped and I lost one of my dearest friends to cancer, and I was with her when she left. So kind of like all women, I've been through, right? We all go through these messy experiences and these intense experiences, these beautiful experiences. I had been through a lot of those, and I really was in that place of like, what do I really want to do with my life? And all I knew was I wanted to write, and I wanted to connect with women and get real. And so I worked with a coach and meditated one day and heard the words Women for One talk about synchronicity, got the URL, started a little blog highlighting great things women were doing, because that's what I knew how to do as a nonprofit background, with my nonprofit background. And then from there, Women for One became this incredible vehicle and community over the last 9 years of women sharing their stories from over 50 countries. And we have almost 1,000 truth tellers, as I call them, and it's my trademarked truth teller word, that have submitted their stories to our sites about everything from, triumph to tragedy to loss to careers, to every single thing, the gamut, because women are so beautiful and they're so powerful, and we can all learn from one another.
Oh, and you get this articulately in your book. You're very articulate in this. And I love, you have a section in here called Embrace Your Power in here. And one of the things that I love that you say is you ask yourself, where does my intuition generally reside? In my body, in my gut, my heart, my womb? Wherever you find that voice to be just a little louder and more persistent than usual, be sure to tune in, listen, and trust from a place that honors both the visceral and the contemplative experience of being alive. And if I got anything out of the book, that was a hot line in there, because sometimes I hear women say to us, I don't feel very alive. I don't feel like I'm really in my purpose and my passion. And what I love is you say, that's okay, because we are a little messy and we got to quit trying to be a perfect women. And this was just, I couldn't put this book down, and I'm hoping you're going to bring this book back. You will have some at the conference, or a way we can get our little hands on this. Because I tell you, if I was Oprah, everybody'd be going away with one of these. That's how good this book is. So share with me a little bit about some of the tips and things because you have 7 tools, is what your book talks about, is 7 tools, and they are good tools. And as much as I read and all of the great empowerment I've had, you taught me things in this book that some of the top speakers I've listened to and top teachers hadn't quite gotten that good message, that gritty, that really aligned with me. So if you wouldn't mind sharing some of the tools and tidbits and takeaways, and why would women want to come to this conference, and why should they come and listen, and what takeaways can you talk about?
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm glad the book resonated with you. And I feel like, it was through all of my experience in my life that I whittled down the lessons with these 7 tools. I mean, 7's a sacred number in itself, and whittling down the bridging of these 7 tools. So my book is called, for your community, Your Messy Brilliance, 7 Tools for the Perfectly Imperfect Woman, because we are all so imperfect. And that is how, when we dive into our imperfections, I believe that's how we discover that brilliance and our power and our joy, and can become more alive. And so what I do is I take women in this book through a 7-step process. And in the book, it has to be linear, because that's how we think, but it's not, as you know, Jill, a linear process. Life is messy. I can always go back to that. And you can apply the 7 tools to a situation in your life. For example, you're having an issue with your friend, or your primary relationship, or your coworker, or the greater lesson of your life. Like, what do I want to be doing in this world? Why am I here? And why do I feel stuck? And that's why I loved putting a book together that was very grounded, that blended the feminine, like contemplative, feeling, right, with the decisive choice and action. Because I believe that blending of the feminine and masculine is the new feminine. It's the new way where we can be grounded in our choices and decisions.
Yes, you're nailing it. And so many women are hungry to learn this and feel this message. And what I love about it is I didn't feel guilty out of this. I did get some clarity around myself, around my goals, around where I foresee where I want to be. And a lot of us women, you know, between our 40s and 60s, you know, we're in that kid age, or we're taking care of parents and we're caretakers, or we're really trying hard to climb up that professional ladder. And I love how you talk a lot in the book about our own spirituality and getting in tune to that, wherever that is for you, and about our own bodies and getting in tune to that, because there is such a message that comes across. And so when a woman comes to this conference, and after she's learned about mindfulness and the research and all the amazing things, listening to a panel of women saying 60's nothing, it's just fantastic, it gets better, to getting into you about understanding, okay, how can I get clear? How can I get clear on this? And how can I embrace my brilliance, even messy or not? Why is it that they want to do that? What are some other things that you might
Absolutely.
want to say?
Yeah. And, you know, I love that you're asking that, because I feel like a lot of times we all feel like, you know, we listen to these people that sound like they have it all together and teach us all these great things, which is so wonderful. It's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think first and foremost, we need to give ourselves a break. We need to forge our own path. And I love that you're asking me to speak about clarity, because I think most of the women that, when I do workshops all around the nation, you know, I've done workshops all around the world in different cultures, they're all just a little unclear. When they feel stuck, they just don't know. And I think sitting in that unknown is such a beautiful thing, the mystery of the unknown. Yet, like we talked about the bridge, you have to have the unknown, but then you have to have some tools to be able to make some powerful choices and to get clear, so that you can start taking baby steps in percentages towards where you want to go. Because like we said, life is messy. It's not a straight linear path. It's, you know, it's all over the place. Forgiving ourselves, getting out of shame, diving into our past experiences to understand how they shaped us and our belief systems, to move forward in our lives on our terms and make our life happen. Because personally, Jill, the reason I left my first marriage, because I just was like, my intuition kept saying, this is not the life you're supposed to live. I would hear it whispering, and I'd be like, well, I can't leave this marriage. I had so much judgment and shame. I don't want to do what my mom did. And the more and more I started getting clarity, getting curious. One of my first tool in the book, I got curious about why I felt that way. And then I gained an awareness. That's my second tool, and really started getting clearer and clearer, so I could hear that intuition and surrender to what the universe and myself made a choice to do. It moved me through that 7-tool process. And then I could flesh it out like I did in the book to explain it to other women, because I feel like it really helped me take action and make my life happen on my terms, so that I could define and get clear about what joy really was to me.
Oh, amen, sister. Boy, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
And last thing I want to kind of ask you about, and again, it's in your book, it's in the chapter that Make Life Happen, because you talk about us being able to be in charge, be captains of our own life. And I love, you have a whole section here and it says, claim your greatness and your tribe. And that's who we are in Illuminating Women. We created a tribe of women to be there to empower, encourage you. And we know we do that through education, and to listen to your powerful stories, to bring women like you in to teach us and give us some of these powerful pointers, because I will believe strongly, I can almost guarantee it, every woman is going to come to this conference is going to walk away elevated, inspired, and have a toolkit ready to go to really transform and move on to that next level. And starting with meeting other women, seeing a great marketplace, but the value that you're going to get for the price is unbelievable. So, I just, because you started the Women for One, and you too recognize the importance of the tribe. So as we end this little conversation we're having here, just share a little bit about what you have seen. If you know any stories from any woman that has shared with you what this has meant to
well, the sisterhood to me and many women and my whole team is everything. You know, I personally, my whole life has been about my friends and the women that I've made conscious choice to get clarity around what I wanted to attract in my life. You know, supportive, incredible women that, you know, aren't necessarily the same, or very different. And Women for One, you know, we have women from all cultures, all belief systems, all ages. And I've learned as much as from a 20-year-old sometimes, and I've learned from an 80-year-old in many ways. And I think, you know, sisterhood takes us to a new level that we can feel less alone and share from that vulnerable space where we feel more connected. So I know in the workshops I've done, in the conferences that I've participated in speaking with, seeing the connection that is made just in a couple of hours, Jill, it's so powerful for women to take that day or a weekend for themselves, make the choice to be open as much as they can be with others so that they can have that connection, because you get so much back from it and support. And, you know, that's how I feel about our community when women share, and then when they share their stories on my site, and then when women are commenting back like, oh my gosh, this changed my life. I'm so glad someone else went through this, and asking questions and supporting one another. We have to do that to elevate ourselves. You know, I mean, I'm speaking to the choir here, but.
Yeah. Well, and I love the fact also, my minor is in anthropology. And
me too. Me too.
That's my name. We know.
Yeah.
And one of the things I love is that you have a tied cross-culturally. You know, women may do things differently, may have different understanding, faith, culture, belief system, but really in the long run, we still care so much about so many of the same things, and as you have witnessed.
Absolutely. Definitely.
Oh, wow, great. Well, I cannot thank you enough, Kelly, for spending some time today to share, so we get to know you a little bit and what you will be speaking about at the conference. And I am just feel so blessed and excited that you came on my trajectory to say, I have to bring this woman in, because I know that she has a message that women have shared with me that they're hungry for. So if you've not signed up for the conference, the early bird's going to be ending pretty soon. So save yourself the money. It is an all-day conference from 8 in the morning. The conference starts with pre-registration marketplace. 9:15, we're going to get started. Lovely lunch. 4 o'clock, we're done with another half hour or hour of marketplace. And then we have a little after party celebration, because when we do the hard work, it's time to celebrate and join in the joy of about women and our growth. So go to illuminatingwomen.com. You will see the links linked onto this video. Go check out under the events. Come to this conference. Sign up. I have a saying in Illuminating Women, who do you know? I'm all about filling up the car, HOV lane, although it's going to be on a Saturday, so the HOV lane won't be so necessary. And come get yourself fed. You're worth it. You deserve it. And I really would love to have you come. So check us out March 2nd, Ignite Your Radiance Conference that Illuminating Women is putting on. So we hope you'll join us. Again, Kelly, thank you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Come see Kelly at the conference and check out her amazing book. You'll want to definitely do that. So thank you again, everybody. I hope you have a great day. See you at the conference. Bye-bye.